Good morning and welcome to the Morning Scoop for Wednesday, September 1st. This is your daily Buckeye fix. I'm Tom Orr. The Minnesota game is in one day. It is tomorrow, the game against Michigan in 87 days. Yes, there is Buckeye football happening tomorrow. And yet somehow that's not the most exciting thing we have to tell you right now. If you're watching on YouTube, you're probably wondering why this show suddenly looks like it's being produced competently by someone who knows what they're doing. Well, friends, that's because Buckeye Scoop just added a new member to our staff. His name is Kevin Noon. He's going to be helping us do all sorts of awesome new stuff before and after games, as well as throughout the week. Kevin, welcome to the show. And much more importantly, welcome to Buckeye Scoop.
Hey, Tom, thank you. I'm excited to be here. This has been a long time coming. I've always been really excited about having the opportunity to work with you and Tony. Well, maybe not Tony much, but you definitely you. And I think big things are ahead as we sit here and we really, crank it up in terms of video production and things of that nature. All things that are kind of in my wheelhouse. So I'm extremely excited about this.
Well, anyone who's listening heard you say that about Tony. It's like, okay, well, obviously this guy knows what he's talking about. He knows what's going on with the Ohio State beat. If he doesn't like Tony, he must know what's going on. So that's good. That's one check mark for you. But and I mean, I assume most people who are watching this will at least kind of know who you are. But for those who maybe don't, can you just share a little bit about your history covering the Buckeyes?
Well, I've been in the sports industry my entire adult career. My first stint of covering Ohio State was right out of college. When I got out of Ohio State, worked over at Channel 6 and 28. Was there about 4.5 years. Several of those years, I did produce the Football Fever. For those old timers out there, it was called Buckeye Football Fever at that point. Left for a couple years, worked for Fox Networks in Dallas, and then I took a job with Rivals Corporate. And then in 2006, I moved to Columbus and I took over the Ohio State site, formerly known as BuckeyeGrove.com. Have been here since 2006, covering the team again. A lot of highs, a lot of lows. We've been there through them all. And, with my background in television, it means that Tom and I are really going to speak a lot of the same language in terms of what it is that I hope that we're able to accomplish with our multimedia content. And, we got a lot of good things in store. I mean, not everything's going to be day one like today, but, we certainly have a plan. And that's, in dealing with everybody over there, that was one of the biggest things that I wanted to provide is a better multimedia experience.
Yeah, and I mean, we all have our roles on the staff, and we have the recruiting guys. Tony's the beat writer. Ross is the X's and O's guys, and all that. I mean, you've kind of talked a little bit about it, but share a little bit more of the specifics on like what you're actually going to be doing. When we're at a Ryan Day press conference, what are you actually doing when we're out on the road? What are you doing? Just so give people an idea like what they can kind of expect in terms of, hey, all the Ryan Day press conferences, everyone's complaining they can't really hear Ryan Day very well. That's going to get better real soon.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, my role, I'm going to be doing a lot of, I will do some writing. I'll continue doing writing, but my main focus is I'm director of multimedia content. So, like at a Ryan Day press conference, I will be the one streaming the podium events. I will be running that through a professional camera, through professional equipment. So we will be hooked into Ohio State audio. So, 95 out of 100 times, that's going to be a good situation. There's going to be the moments where maybe the questions are going to be a little bit difficult to hear. Just one of those situations. But, I will be running all of that. I'll be there to sit there and bring questions onto the board, onto the feed. So we have that there. I'll be able to interact while Tom and Tony are able to focus more on the question asking and things of that nature. We certainly have some plans in place for pregame and postgame coverage. A lot of that is still a work in progress in terms of what we're going to do, but you're not going to have to wait all that long to see what it is we're going to do with Ohio State playing on Thursday. We will have some pregame coverage. We will have a very much expanded postgame coverage. We're going to bring you content that nobody else in this space is bringing you. We're going to bring you analysis. We're going to bring you live audio. We're going to bring you everything that we can. We're taking this to the moon. This is going to be next level stuff, folks. We're not just coming in and just saying, okay, it's status quo. We're going to maybe throw a live camera up and roll with that. No, we're going to try and really just blow the lid off this thing.
Yeah, we definitely have some awesome stuff planned for pre and post game. That is something we've been talking about for quite a while. even before you were officially coming on, it was kind of like we started daydreaming about what this could look like. It is not. Let me reiterate what Kevin said there. This is not immediately going to be the Super Bowl pregame show where it's 6 hours of pregame and 6 hours of postgame. Like we're not there yet, but it's going to look different than it did last year. Last year it was a lot of Tony and I standing in front of a camera on a tripod and talking, and the famous Buckeye Weekly audio with trains and planes and gators and wind and all of that stuff. All of this stuff should be better. Don't worry, Buckeye Weekly will still be a terrible podcast. We won't change what we're all about, but the audio may be a little better. The production quality should be a lot better, and there's just going to be more of it because it's not just going to be us. That's going to be, I think, the most important and the most exciting thing to me is we have this incredible team at Buckeye Scoop. Now we actually get to start using them because now we can, we're all going to be, got people at the games. We got people at home. We've got this incredible team of insiders, and we can start using all of them to give you a better, more exciting, more in-depth pre and post game experience. I am super, super, super excited about that. And yes, that starts this week with the game at Minnesota. You also are releasing some content on BuckeyeScoop.com for your very first day. Your first couple of articles are coming out a little later on today. Those are actually going to be regular weekly features. So let people know what they can expect to find from you. You mentioned you're doing some writing. What can people expect to find from you today at BuckeyeScoop.com and then throughout the season?
Yeah, exactly. When it comes down to it, a lot of this stuff is going to be pieces that were very popular at Buckeye Grove. We're going to release in the morning our Behind Enemy Lines, where we speak with an expert who covers Ohio State's current opponent on a daily basis. So we're going to be talking with Sean Williams of the Rivals Minnesota site, and I have about 7 questions with him to where we will discuss much more than just general themes. We drill down into personnel and things of that nature. I have him making a prediction in terms of what the game is. I guarantee you that when everybody from the Scoop Army reads it, they're going to be like, yeah, right, because he's seeing it a lot closer to the game than I think many of us are seeing. And then, of course, the biggest story of the week for me in terms of game day, and that's Tail of the Tape, and that generally runs 3,000 plus words. And if that sounds like a lot, just try writing it. But, there we go through a lot of just the X's and O's. Week 1 is always difficult because we don't have any tape. We don't have any film to go off of. We're basing things off of last year's numbers. We know that what the 2020 team was for anybody is not what the 21 team's going to be, but it is our deep dive. I've tried for years to dial it back and make it a little less detailed, and people pitch a fit. They want it as is. They want it in the form that they're used to. So here, now that I'm with Buckeye Scoop, I'm not going to deviate away from it. People will be like, "Oh, you got a fresh start. You can write it how you want to." No, it's going to be the exact same Tail of the Tape, just a new address. That's it. Just a new address. But 3,000. I think I went about 3,700 words, and Oregon's going to be even worse. I guarantee Oregon may go about 4,000.
Yeah, and if you're not a writer and you don't know, like a normal, like a web article is usually like, I don't know, 500, maybe 800 words. So if you're writing 5, 6, 7, 8 times that amount, like, yeah, that's a good amount of content. That is, but lucky for you, I can tell you, Buckeye Scoop readers are the types of folks who are obsessive enough about Ohio State football that they will absolutely sit there and read 4,000 words about the Minnesota game. Not even a question. You also, who among us does not? But you also do a podcast. And so let people know about that, what they can expect from that show. We all kind of do different shows. What is where can people find your show? And what do what's your kind of your format of your show?
Yeah, exactly. It's still kind of a work in progress as I'm trying to learn what everybody else is doing, because I don't want to give the same show that you're getting from Tom and Tony, or that you're getting from Mark and Bill, or Kirk and Nevada. I want to make sure that I find my own niche. I've settled on the name of I may do 2 shows. I haven't figured this out, but a lot of people call me Big Noon, and we know of Big Noon Kickoff. Well, I don't want the Fox lawyers to come after me. So it's going to be Big Me Kickoff. So that's going to be it. Still working on the logos. I do have a podcast that's already ready to drop that's kind of not really branded. It's another one where I am going to be talking very specifically about Minnesota. But my plan is to be available through all of the Buckeye Scoop outlets in terms of the podcast, Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, everything that goes through the distribution feed there, and then of course through the Buckeye Scoop channel as well on YouTube. So I'm going to make sure that this is out there everywhere for people to see. But if you have any suggestions of what you want to see in my podcast, now's the time. Before I set old habits and I'm like, well, it's been like this for 3 weeks, I don't know if I want to change it. Get on board and tell me what it is you would like to see, because we're certainly going to look to be building this up. I can't be the multimedia guy and have like a solid C- podcast. I've got to come in and just dominate from day one. So that's going to be the goal. It's going to be a podcast for y'all. So I want feedback in there so I know what it is you guys want. If you're saying that you want weekly one-on-ones with Ryan Day, I don't know if that's going to happen, but within reason, give me some ideas. My DMs will be open. Just let me know.
Well, and you can subscribe to his podcast, but we are also going to be releasing that first episode, the one that's coming out today, as a bonus episode in the Morning Scoop feed a little later on today. Just as we do this every once in a while when we have a cool show, a different show. This is a new show. Want to let you get a little sample of that. We always like to do that just as a little thank you for subscribing to this feed. So you can look forward to that a little later on today. But also, please definitely do subscribe to Kevin's feed. That way you won't miss an episode. We're not going to do this every time he releases a show, but wanted to give you at least a little taste of see if you like it, and subscribe there. We also, I don't know, we do these editorial meetings just on air, but so I don't know if we've actually officially announced this yet, but we're going to be going to do a little bit of a Scoop meetup for Buckeye Scoop members the night before the Minnesota game. For those people who are in Minneapolis, we're going to be going to the Cubs-Twins game on Wednesday night. We'll have information on our Ask the Insiders board about a little meetup for Buckeye Scoop members. That those are always, we had our documentary release party on Monday night. That was an awesome night. Got to meet hundreds of Buckeye Scoop members. Really, really fun event. This should be fun as well. Not nearly as intense for us as having to release a documentary. This will just be go watch a baseball game between two teams that are not very good, and tickets will be very cheap. But should be a fun night. Weather looks awesome, and it's supposed to be a fantastic ballpark. I'm looking forward to crossing that one off my list. Kevin, anything else? You have any other exciting news to share? Any other thoughts on your first day as employee number, whatever number employee you are at Buckeye Scoop?
No, I don't know if I really have anything in terms of breaking news at this point, but I want to thank Mark and everybody involved with Buckeye Scoop for giving me this opportunity. It really just goes to show how much faith I have in the Buckeye Scoop product, how much I love the Buckeye Scoop community. I know a lot of you already, and those that I don't know, I'm looking forward to meeting virtually, in person, at the Twins game, as mentioned by Tom, at other events. I'm so excited about all of this. Sometimes you fall into a little bit of a monotony of doing this. You've done this for as many years as I've done it, or as Tom's done it, and whatnot. But this has really put a lot of wind in my sails. I'm so excited, and I just really can't wait to get started here.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun Wednesday night, and I mean this is just a fun time of year. I'm genuinely excited for football to be back. I'm really excited to see this is not the first season for Buckeye Scoop, but it's kind of the first real season for Buckeye Scoop, because we couldn't do these events last year because no one was at the games. It was just Kevin and Tony and me and 50 other people in the press box, and it was like, oh well, there's no one else here. The good news is it's real easy to find a parking spot now. The bad news is literally everything else. So we are looking forward to having you and all of your friends and your 100,000 closest friends in the horseshoe about a week from now. But we're very excited to be going to Minnesota and having like a band and, fans and all that stuff, tailgaters, all the great stuff that comes with college football. It's all coming back this week. Could not be more excited. Could also not be more excited to have Kevin on the team. It is going to be an awesome season. I can't wait. And the best place to find Kevin, find Tony, find me, find the rest of our incredible team is at buckeyescoop.com. Sign up today to become a member. I mean, you're hearing it right now. The team is it is a great team, and it is just getting better. So you get access to our fantastic team of insiders, all their insight, all their analysis on the Ask the Insiders board, plus all sorts of great events like the documentary premiere, fun events like the party at the Twins game on Wednesday, so much more. It's all at buckeyescoop.com. Also, do make sure you check out all of our great podcasts. They're on all the podcast platforms that Kevin mentioned earlier: Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify. Just search Buckeye Scoop to find those. You can subscribe right there so you never miss an episode. Also, leave us a 5-star rating and review. That does help other folks find those shows, and we do genuinely appreciate that. When it helps us grow our community, helps us grow our reach, and it doesn't take too long on your end. So if you're enjoying it, leave us a 5-star rating and review, which does really help us, and we do truly appreciate. And finally, youtube.com/Buckeye Scoop. If you're watching on YouTube, you're like, hey, this is way better than before. Well, it's only going to get better. So subscribe right now. We're going to make that as easy as possible for you. At the end of this video, you'll get a couple recommendations. One will be another video you can watch. The other one will just have a little Buckeye Scoop logo on the right-hand side of the screen. You click on that. That'll subscribe you to our channel, and then you get notified every time we do a new video. Every time we do a Ryan Day interview, which you're suddenly going to be hearing a lot better. Every time we do a pregame show. Every time we do a postgame show. All you have to do is click on that button. And you'll get notified every time we post a new video. So you'll never miss a thing during what should be a really, truly fantastic season of Ohio State football. So that'll do it for today. Thank you guys for joining us. Have a great day. We'll talk to you tomorrow.